Well, chit chat, Kit Kats. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, this morning having my coffee. Now my coffee is made with raw milk, a big huge chunk of butter like this. You know, there's probably a couple of tablespoons worth of butter in there. Now I do put it in I have a little mixer that works great. As you can see, it stays mixed in there. The butter's not, well, there is, so you can see some of the foam on the top. But also what I have in it, and I'm having this every day, is my Zabora marine collagen peptides. Okay, I love this stuff. It actually does fully dissolve in your warm drink. This is wild caught, non-GMO. It's hyaluronic acid, vitamins, keratin. It's keto and paleo friendly. It supports your joint health and strength, boosts your hair, nails, gives you good glowing skin. And now it does take time for all of this stuff to kick in, okay? It increases your overall health. So 1 scoop is 40 calories, got 0 sugar, 8.8 grams of protein, 3.6 milligrams, so lower than 1% of sodium. Vitamin C, it's got 385 milligrams, so it's 427.8% to the good of what you need. Vitamin D3, which is so important to get, it's got 125 mcg, which is a plus of 625% what you need. Niacin, 18 milligrams, so 112.5% of what's needed. Vitamin B6, 2 mg's, which is 117.6% of what's needed. The biotin, 10 mg's, which is over 33,000% of what we're needing to put in there. Pantothenic acid, it's 12.7 mg's, which is 254%. So very, very high in the nutrients, things that are needed. It's made from hydrolyzed fish collagen peptides, hydrolyzed keratin, and hyaluronic acid, okay? It does not contain soy, wheat, gluten, yeast, sugar, salt, milk, or artificial flavors, coloring, or preservatives. So yeah, I'm swearing by this so far. I will keep using this. Like I said, it is going to take a bit of time before you really start seeing things working in your body, etc. But this is something I'm going to be staying on for quite some time. I'm really, really happy with this product. And like I said, I've gone to using raw milk and very heavy. I had to go back to the Carnivore. Okay, it's I really need to keep grounded. Okay. Because we are in these material bodies and we've got to have the right fuel, okay, in order for this vehicle to function correctly, okay? You know, we are not these bodies, but we have to have, it's like your car. You have to take care of your car. You got to have the right fuel. If you don't put the right fuel in, what happens? Okay, it gets gummed up, it doesn't work. Okay, so same thing, these are what we need to function on this planet. okay, in this realm. This is our vehicle. So you've got to have your vehicle in good working order, okay? So that's what I'm doing. Yeah, this go around, I'm doing really, really much better. One thing I found out I cannot have is eggs, scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs. Can't do it. If I eat scrambled eggs, cooked in butter, I get very nauseated immediately. Okay, now I can do hard-boiled eggs and put a big pat of butter on it, no problem. But for some reason, scrambled eggs I cannot have. Okay, go. Now yesterday I had some shrimp. I had shrimp that I got raw shrimp and cooked them, and that was great. I had that last evening. And I have a lot of cheese. I eat a lot of cheese, a lot of dairy, high-fat cheeses. Like last evening, I sat here and just had brie. I just ate a lot of brie, okay? So that works for here, okay, to keep this vehicle in running condition. Because especially if you have an ostomy, you cannot have all these fiber things. It doesn't work, okay? It doesn't work because you can get a lot of occlusions and stuff, and that is extremely, extremely painful. Okay. Now, if you're doing carnivore, it's important to have a lot of fat. If you don't have a lot of fat, then the protein can break into a sugar and it's not going to work. So, but you need to sometimes build this up slowly, okay? You can't go in and immediately start having a lot of fat if you've been running on sugar and carbs, because you will feel quite ill, okay? So you have to build it up slowly. So the way I build it up for me is to do my coffee, and again, the raw milk and the heavy butter coffee works for me without a problem, okay? I can put a lot of fat in my coffee, and that works well. And then I'm doing fattier things of meat, and again, you have to build it up slowly. Now, there's one girl I like to listen to, and I just put a thing on her in the post section. She was really, really, really ill. I mean, extremely ill, to the point that she had to live on chicken soup. This is, homemade chicken soup. Boiling, getting a chicken, boiling it down, etc. And she had to live on it for 2 years, just chicken soup, to get back viable. And so she's done a lot of research, and she's very intelligent, and is, I find her to be very, very valid in what she's saying. Okay, so anyway, on that note, I will leave that here. I gotta go out this morning. I'm gonna get a big thing of chicken for the puppies. Yes, for you, for Miss Lily. Yeah, I'm gonna go get you a big thing of chicken. Yeah, I am. I'm going to get for the puppies. They seem to do well on chicken, so I do better on the red meat rather than chicken. The most grounding is red meat. I need to eat some liver as well, because if I don't have it, the only thing that works in my system, so I don't get So I don't have to have iron infusions, is liver. I've tried cooking in ironware. I've tried plant-based type iron. I've tried iron pills. I've tried everything, and the only thing, and I mean literally the only thing that works for here is to have liver. So I don't become anemic, because I did become anemic. I mean, it was way down to 2. You're supposed to be over 20, and mine was down to 2. I had to go in and get iron infusions. Yeah, in where they're doing cancer treatments, I had to go in for iron infusions. Hey, you two, quit grousing at each other. So I have to have some liver, which I'm going to go down and get today. I think I'm going to have that today, absolutely, because otherwise I get anemic. And there is no plant on the planet that's going to give me the iron that I need. Trust me, I've tried all of it, and none of it works. That's so good. So I'm going to enjoy that. I did find something really unusual. Did you know they make beef bacon? Beef bacon. I actually found beef bacon. So I'm going to probably have some of that today, now that I'm building up to being able to convert and run on fats rather than, because I really have to be careful of sugars, etc. Now, I was going and having that bakery bread and stuff for a while. I'm not having it anymore. Okay. So I don't want to get arthritis. I have to be careful of arthritic. If I eat wheats, I immediately start feeling pain. Immediately start having pain in my hands, inflammation. So, and things I can't, potatoes, love potatoes growing up, can't have them. They create, in my system, a lot of gas, and they convert to sugar so quickly, etc. So I'm leaving all that behind, okay? And again, they want you to believe that you've got to have a plant-based diet. Now, like I said, going through Kundalini, it is so important to stay grounded, because you have that energy going through your system like crazy. And if you're doing plant-based, guess what? You're going to fry your nervous system. And this has been proven with my students over and over and over again. They come and they are totally ungrounded and just freaking out, and immediately put them on having some meat, especially red meat, to ground, and it works. Every time it works. They get grounded and they can continue to do their journey. Okay. Now, when I was going through the journey, like I said, I got a lot of trouble from people. They said, oh, you can't do that. You need to be vegetarian. You know what? They came to me later and said, you know what? We had to go back and eat meat. Yeah. Ones that were giving me so much headache and giving me just a lot of trouble came back and finally confessed we had to go back and eat meat. Yeah. Surprise, surprise, huh, Miss Lily? She says, I eat meat. I do. I eat meat. I'm a meat eater. Say I am. I'm a little meat eater. Works for me. Anyway. So, we'll see. I have to say I'm feeling better, because I was doing more of bringing in carbs and all of that. And I mean, I'm laid out on the couch for most of the day, just absolutely cannot keep my eyes open, okay? And since I'm changing back over to meat, it's getting better and better and better. But I was absolutely going downhill with not eating, not eating meat, okay? So to say that they say, it's going to raise your vibrations and this and that, yeah, no. This is, the food you eat is not for your consciousness. It's for the physicality of form. It's the fuel to form, okay? It's the fuel for your form, for the vehicle, so that it can function correctly. Okay, so very, very important on that. Now, if you want to be vegetarian, be vegetarian, be a fruitarian, whatever you want to do, it's up to you. I'm just putting out what I know, what I've found out in my own journey, and so I'm putting it out there. The first time I was doing the carnivore, it did really, I was able to no longer take metformin, okay? It went down from 10 to 5, so below, okay? And the minute I started introducing carbs and stuff again, went right back up, okay? But the first time I had gotten very bored with the carnivore, so I did start introducing other things to my detriment, to my detriment, health-wise. So now I am going back carnivore, okay? So yeah, little disclosure on that today. So I am going to stay on the raw milk, and I get farm fresh eggs. I go to one market, and it is definitely more expensive. Okay, but they actually do carry raw milk and farm fresh eggs from local farm fresh eggs. And that's where I found the beef bacon. I didn't never know that they actually made beef bacon. So yeah, I'm gonna have that, and then keep the fat and use that for cooking as well. Remember maybe younger kids know, but if you're older, remember when your parents, when they would cook, they would keep the fat, okay, and then use it for cooking. Okay, used lard, everything, until they came out with, what was it called, Crisco? I think it was Crisco. One of them, they were coming out and it was vegetable based, and that's when we started having a lot of problems. Yeah, I think it was Crisco. Now, if Crisco, you still can buy lard in the store. And much better for cooking with. I cook with a lot of butter. I happen to like to cook with butter. But, yeah. Anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here. But, yeah, I'm going to continue to have this every morning with my big butter coffee and my meat. And I'm staying away. I'm not going to that bakery anymore. I'm not going out to get the soups. I like the pho and stuff, but it's, yeah, no. I'll make my own home broth soup. Maybe I'll make some chicken soup here, get a chicken and boil it down, etc. So maybe I'll do that. We'll see. But anyway, I'm giving up the other things. You know, if I have a vegetable on occasion, maybe I'll have some cabbage or a little something, but that's about the extent of it. Because what I found that I need for my system is really a meat-based diet in order to keep this functioning, okay? I'm 76 and I'm still functioning, okay? And I plan to keep functioning as long as I can on this planetary awareness to continue to give what I can give to society. So that's what I am going to do. Oh, Mr. Mickey laying his head on my leg. He's such a good boy. He's such a mama's boy. Yeah, he is. Anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here because I'm going to, like I said, I've got to go get some. Yeah, you heard that word. I said G-O. One thing I have to tell you too, if you have an ostomy, if you're eating plant-based, guess what? You're going to have a lot of output. If you're eating carnivore, your output is very minimal, okay? Very minimal, okay? So if you don't like having to change an ostomy bag often, go carnivore. And you're not going to have any occlusions. You're not going to have any of that problem with it that you can have if you're having vegetable matter. Mr. Mickey, you stole her. Mickey, that's not your. Mickey, give me that. Give me that. Give me that. That's not yours. That's not you. Here, Lily. Say, Mama, he grabbed my goodie. Mickey, you can't steal her goodie. He said, well, she's not eating it. She's so bad. He watches where she hides it and then he goes to get it. Yeah. Got something on my teeth. Lovely. Anyway, on that note, I'll leave that here. I'm going to go make some breakfast here real quick. Am I going to have a hard-boiled eggs? Couple of hard-boiled eggs, or I think I'm going to have the beef bacon today, actually. And see how I do with that higher fat content. I'm trying to building it up, you know. But sometimes that's something you have to take and do slowly. Because my first day, I felt so nauseated. So it's something, again, you have to, switching from carb to fat-based, you have to sometimes build it up slowly so you don't get nauseated. Now, like I said, I have it, and I'm not having any kind of that blowback with it, if you will. On that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.